Hey, glad you guys could join us. Anybody that may join us in the chat, we just wanted to give a quick reaction on the Cowboys because me and Dwayne are Cowboy fans. We wanted to give a quick reaction and our thoughts after a long 4-hour draft. I mean, the NFL usually gets it right, but this draft definitely was too long. It just took too long with these picks and getting them up. They need to consider trying to make it. I understand they make it more of an event, but they need to try to cut down on the time in between these first round picks because it's very long. But anyway, furthermore, the NFL and one thing about the draft is that regardless of who you want, you have to draft who's on the board. And me, Dwayne, and myself want to give quick reactions to what we think the Cowboys did at the 12th pick after trading back with Philadelphia, a division rival, picking up an extra third pick. So that means they have 5 picks right now in the top 100. The Cowboys with 12th pick, they picked the former Buckus Award winner as a sophomore, who sat out last year, Micah Parsons. Dwayne, what's your thoughts on this pick?
Quick thoughts. Let me first start with the trade down. Um, the trade down made sense once Horn went to the Panthers and Sertan went to the Broncos. Everybody knows I was big on Sertan, but once those two glaring needs went off the board, then you got to look at the board. And you got to look at how the draft is going down. Now, there's two ways to look at this trade down, right? One, they were scared, and I'll use that, of adding Devontae Smith to that Giants offense. You would have had Saquon Barkley. You would have had Slayton. You would have had Shepard. You'd have had Galladay. And you'd have had the Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver with Daniel Jones. When you look at the Eagles, I don't think the Cowboys thought the Eagles were as much of a threat with Hurts, with Rager, and with Devontae Smith. So I think that was smart, right? Another thing, what have everybody been saying about the Cowboys? Great offense, putrid defense. So with this trade now, you now have 5 picks in the top 100. Okay, tonight you're going to hear a lot about the Cowboys in the second and third round because they got a lot of picks. So if you look at it, they picked up Micah Parsons, right? Who is the best linebacker. Everybody knew that going in. They got to get better on all three levels. So not only do you pick up Micah Parsons, you now have 44, 75, 84, and 99 tonight.
So I
That's
know that
4 picks. And then the fifth, your fourth round pick is 115. So you are going to have 6 players in the top 115. And you got to address that defense. Another thing the Cowboys got to do, and I'll move on and we'll talk about the player. Look at the cap of the Cowboys. They got a lot of high-end salaries for their offensive players, for Tank Lawrence. Their defense is going to have to be filled with young guys who are on rookie deals that are going to fly all over the place in the Dan Quinn defense. One of the deepest positions in this draft is corner. And
I
they're
know that
still set. There's about
I
8 good corners that's still on the board that they could draft at 44.
I know that while we were doing the broadcast, you were basically looking at Twitter, getting the reaction from most Cowboy fans. I'm gonna ask you a question in reference to that because I know that a lot of the reviews a lot of Cowboy fans were upset, and me, yourself, and myself, we follow a lot of the Cowboy bloggers, a lot of the guys. Give a shout out, just give a shout out, Skywalker, Vouch, Foots, Jabble Sports, Tom Downey. These guys do a hell of
Boss
a
Cowboy,
job.
the OC.
Yeah,
There's a lot of guys.
these guys do a hell of a job on their YouTube channel and Twitter channel. But one of the things that I noticed, Dwayne, and we shared this before, is that when one of those, even Law Nation, good guy, when one of these guys get zero in on a player, it seems like everybody in Cowboy Nation zeroes in on that player, and sometimes we oversell the player to the team and to the fan base, and we get caught up in, oh, we got to have this guy, not realizing that it's a draft board. If a player, and I'm using Sertan because a lot of us wanted Sertan,
Yeah.
we have to understand that it was 9 teams before us that could have picked Patrick Surtain, and Denver just happened to pick him. And it's an interesting pick by Denver because they'll probably play him in the slot and then kick him out to the outside in about a year or two, which happens with a lot of young corners.
Well,
That-
and it's I always want to be transparent when I'm on here. I had a disappointment last night because the whole world knows I wanted Patrick Surtain II for the Dallas Cowboys. It was the most perfect fit. I was surprised that Denver went that route. I guess Denver really believes in Teddy Bridgewater because you already have Darby, who you signed to a big deal. I don't know why they signed Darby to the deal that they signed him. And you traded for Kyle Fuller. So Surtain, is he gonna be a slot? He's not. To me, he's not a slot. Maybe they kick Darby down in the slot and put Surtain out on the outside. But I will say this: one of my favorite people to follow in the draft. It's okay if I give a plug to somebody. Q, I wanted to make sure. Chad Reuter, who's on NFL.com, who does 7-round mocks and all that. Listen, it's not. It's everybody's quick to make judgments, and we know we can't down the line. It's going to be 3 years down the line. But here's what he said about Micah Parsons, and I thought it was the best breakdown. All right, he gave the Cowboys an A+ for taking Micah Parsons. He said the Cowboys made a rare first round in the division trade with the Eagles once the draft's 2 top corners went off the board. They picked up a 3rd round selection to move down just 2 spots. Man, getting a 3rd rounder and you move 2 spots, that's good, man. Then he said Parsons will pound runners in the box and chase them to the sideline. He's not long, but he can do it all utilizing his quickness and he's powerful. Once again, teams allowed a strong linebacker to fall into the middle third of the first round, a la Tremaine Edmonds in 2018. It won't surprise me if Parsons is a Pro Bowler within 3 years.
one of the things, Dwayne, that I sat back and I did get some rest, but not much. Because I was I was exhausted at the end of the round, so end of the draft. So we didn't even really have a draft wrap up after we did the draft show. Um, One of the things I noticed, hopefully Dwayne will come back because I know he probably
Sorry
answered
about
his
that.
phone. Somebody probably
Sorry.
called him.
Yeah, sorry.
But one of the things that I noticed, Dwayne, when you really look into what Parsons is, and I listened to his interview that he did on 105.3 with Fish and I'm not Fish, Brodus and Kavanaugh, is that Parsons, the word for him is raw. He's a former Buckus Award winner, but also when he came to Penn State, a lot of people don't know he was a 5-star recruit at defensive end. So him rushing the quarterback is natural. He spoke about that. He spoke about being a natural wrestler. And I always try to. I know people try to look at Dan Quinn's defense in the cover 3 scheme, and a lot of people always favor the linebackers. And the first thing they say is Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright. But what a lot of people don't understand is that what Dan Quinn does sometimes he doesn't really use a base 4-3. Sometimes he does what they call a 4-3 over, which has the strong side outside linebacker. The strong side linebacker will be over the tight end, or he does a 4-3 under, where it take the weak side linebacker and put him over the left tackle. So it'll be like a 5-man front. I
Yeah.
was thinking about, and I've been thinking about it, Dwayne, for a while. Who could play the quote unquote Bruce Irving type of role? And for some reason, this kid fits. He has all the tangibles to be the outside, the wheel,
He's the will.
the strong, the wheel, the strong, or an end in the on the fourth on third downs,
Here's
third and longs. He could play. He could play an end.
here's what you're gonna get out of Micah Parsons. Okay. You're getting somebody that's gonna be on the field all 3 downs. Okay. He's gonna play the will. A lot of people think, oh, look at him. He's 246, he's 6'3, he's gonna be in the middle. It's not gonna be in the middle. Okay. First and second down, he's gonna be a will. He could cover tight ends. He could stop the run if you try to run at him on the outside. On third downs and passing downs, when the Cowboys go to my favorite set where they got about 6 DBs out there, he's coming. He's coming off the edge, folks. You're going to see this kid blitzing off the edge. Think Bobby Wagner, man. Think 54. And it's funny because he may be forced to wear that number. You know, Jerry Jones went into his whole tangent about numbers last night. And he talked about special numbers. And once again, Jerry Jones kind of made me upset when he talks about special numbers. And he only include 33 in there, Tony Dorsett. It bothers me. But he talked about, again, I want people to understand. Jerry Jones, for some reason, I don't know why, he loves Tony Romo. He spoke about Romo and number 9 again last night, almost making it seem like number 9 is an untouchable number, which is crazy because Jalen Smith wanted it. Now, it's funny because Micah Parsons wants 11.
And
And
Cedric Wilson's number.
the Cedric Wilson's number, which is no big deal because Cedric Wilson wore 14 in college, so he could easily go back. And the red rifle is no longer there. But I go off on a tangent. But he could rush the passer. The only thing, Mike, this is gonna be crazy. And Q, you're gonna look at me like I'm crazy when I say this because you know the little guy, like you like to call me. Sometimes he has to slow down on the field.
Dwayne, I
All
agree with you.
gas, no
He
brakes.
and I have to give Skywalker this. I have to give Skywalker has what they call the Cowboys Network, and he does very good content for the
Yeah,
Cowboys.
he does.
Hey, Kid Rascal, what's good? He does very very good for Dallas Cowboys Network, and he said something yesterday, and it was a thought about Micah Parsons. He compared Micah Parsons to the defense's Kyle Pitts, and what he was saying was when you got a player like Kyle Pitts, he's not a traditional tight end. You just put him anywhere. Micah Parsons is the type of defender that we call some people would Dwayne uses the elephant term
Yeah,
or the Joker, where you just have this guy
yeah,
anywhere. Go get the tight end.
yeah. You
Go
want
go zero in on the scat back. Go zero in on that slot receiver. I'm not saying he could stick a traditional slot receiver, but Micah Parsons might be a guy in Dan Quinn's defense, and we know that he's a scheme defense where he just wants you to be where you're going to be and let the scheme come to you, keep everything in front of you. But Micah Parsons might be the type of defender where you just say roam
yeah.
because because literally he's going to make plays.
Cowboy fans may not want to hear this, right? We got a steal at 51, folks, last year. Last year, we got a steal with Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs is CB1 for the Dallas Cowboys. He proved it as a rookie. He get his hands on you, right? What the
Kid Rasco, we agree with you. It was a great pick.
what the Cowboys need to do, right? Watch film. Watch film of Seattle, okay? They have their one corner that they use as my man guy. I'm gonna bump you. We're gonna bump and run. I'm gonna lock you down. I'm gonna be aggressive. That's Trayvon Diggs. What they're looking for now is that cover 3 corner. And there are, and shout out to Jeff Kavanaugh because we shooting out a lot of people. Jeff Kavanaugh did a quick uh, assessment last night of which corners is left, and he came up with 8 corners. And some of them that he came up with, I love. I love Boss Man Fat. We all have said it. It's some off the field things there. But if he's there at 44, I would take the gamble about Boss Man Fat because you still got more picks in the top 100, right? I love the kid. I'm not going to mess his name up. The kid from Syracuse. Big 6'3". He could tackle. He could do a lot of things. I think you look at him. Me and Quentin looked at me last night during our draft show when I mentioned the name because he's 5'10". Give me Asante Samuel Jr., man. He 5'10", but he don't play 5'10". So there are corners there for them to get. I wanted the Cowboys to come out of this draft with a player on all 3 levels of the defense. a down lineman, a linebacker, and somebody for the secondary. Micah Parsons was there. I like it, and looking forward. I agree. I
See
agree.
one of the things,
And
like,
thank you for commenting with us this morning. But
it,
I
it,
agree.
Kid Rascal, one of the things that Dwayne and myself believe, and it happens every year, even definitely in training camp, is we love the Cowboy guys who follow the team. We love the bloggers. We all listen to all the same guys. But one of the things that they do is they oversell the players to us. And if we're not careful, we zero in on these guys and we say, okay, we want to, so like, for example, we want to Slater. Why? Because of his versatility. Not saying he's not a good player, but when you think about it, being that Collins and Tyron Smith were hurt last year, we actually have depth with the two Connors. Um, and then with Sertan and Horn, we just basically got blocked. They got picked
Yeah,
before us. So
before.
if the Cowboys would have took Caleb Farley, we all would have said that was a reach with his injury
Mhm.
history. Um, so I think that the Cowboys did an excellent job with this pick. We all know coming into this draft, we need to zero in on three things, and they're all up the middle:
Yeah.
defensive tackle, linebacker, safety, and
Defense,
and a,
defense,
and a, and
defense.
a, and a
Hey,
corner. So
Q,
we
Q,
picked up an extra pick.
Q. So we like the Parsons thing, right? If you listened to Stephen Jones last night, because a lot of it, like me, I thought we could have traded back in the first round, and secured somebody like Asante Samuel, and I forgot to say Tyson Campbell is out there too, folks. He's a good corner. Um, I thought maybe we should trade back in, but Stephen Jones said something very interesting. He wants these 5 picks in the top 100 because he knows he has to fix this defense. And he wants guys that are on rookie deals that could come in there and compete against veterans and hopefully win jobs. Now, Dan Quinn has, I
Yeah,
agree. I
yeah,
agree
they
with
were.
you, but think about it, right? Sewell wasn't going to be there. Sewell wasn't going to be there. Dan Campbell already said he picked a Hall of Famer. He thinks Sewell's a day one Hall of Famer. What it tells me about Slater, right? There's a big drop off in two positions. Linebacker after Parsons. I was surprised that the Redskins went with the kid from Kentucky over JOK. And one thing that is deep, it's deep in offensive lineman, man. You still got Mayfield out there. You still got Dickerson out there. You still got the Christensen kid at BYU. You got Tevin
You're
Jenkins out
right.
there.
You're right.
It's
You're right.
out there.
You're right. Kid Rascal. Dwayne is a big Conor McGovern fan.
I love him.
Dwayne been talking about Conor McGovern for the last 3 years. Like, yo, why the Cowboys don't play him? And you're right. If he's the worst defensive lineman, and we believe Open Door still is the worst offensive
Yeah,
lineman, and
but
Kid Rascal, I don't know how old you are, but if you remember Doug Free, when Doug Free first came on the scene, he was still.
well, there's an offensive lineman that nobody gives credit. He's never mentioned for the Cowboys. Brandon Knight played well last year.
Brandon Knight played
He's
left tackle.
he's your swing tackle. If you get Tyron Smith back healthy, which is a if, you got to say it. Lael Collins is coming back, right? So right now you are looking at Smith, Connor Williams, who improved last year, Badage at center, Martin, and Collins, right? You got that backed up with McGovern and Knight, and they're still gonna get somebody in this draft, man. Tonight. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, tonight is a big night for the Dallas Cowboys. You gotta think about it, man. We had 10 picks coming into this draft, and we picked up one more. We got 11 picks. We got the
Hey,
most picks
Kid
of any
Rascal,
team.
we don't talk about sports all the time on the channel, but we do talk about sports at least once a week. So if you don't mind, hit the subscribe button and
Please hit subscribe,
follow us, man. We're
follow
both
us.
Cowboy fans, so we always talk about the NFL in general. We're big NFL fans. We're gonna have a draft wrap up show Sunday. We're just trying to
Yeah,
figure out the time we're gonna have it. We were gonna we did a whole draft show yesterday, 4 hours. We were
listen.
going to do a draft show tonight, but we changed our mind. We're doing a whole draft show, but we're definitely going to do a wrap up show on Sunday. where we could discuss the whole draft as well as the free agent signings, which is going to be slim pickings this year because of everything. But
Hey, listen, Q, you're more on this guy than I am. You really are. But Richard Sherman is still out there. Maybe you sign him to a deal and put him at corner. There's still options out there. Hey, do they still explore the KJ Wright thing and you have KJ Wright there? You know, defense, defense, defense.
yeah, I do know about the Kid Rascal. I do know about the sports tracks community. I think I'm in that group. I might be in that group, but yeah, send it. You can find Dwayne on Facebook as well as myself.
Facebook,
Q Q
IG.
Q Ford, and you can follow us
Hit me
on
up on
IG.
IG, DLM718. Hit me
Yeah,
up on IG. Hey, listen, man. Defense, defense, defense is what we all been saying. If I can get a lineman, a good lineman to help. But hey, man, I'm looking forward to defense. I'm looking forward
hey,
to
Kid
say,
Rascal, Dwayne is like you, a hard pass on Sherman as well. Dwayne does not want Sherman in that locker room. I'm more of I kind of want Sherman there to teach the defense, but at this point, we sit around and most Cowboy fans say they love and they trust Will McClay. Now I'm gonna say this: if you trust Will McClay, and then when you sit back and really look at Dan Quinn, and know that he has not made all the personnel decisions, but if you look at Dan Quinn and how he drafts, Dan Quinn always gets good starters at the middle draft picks. That vaunted Seattle defense, the only number one pick was Earl Thomas, and a lot of people don't realize everybody else was mid round guys. I mean,
yeah.
the two linebackers were mid round guys. Richard Sherman was a third, I think, a third or a fourth. Cam Chancellor was a third. Like, so I believe that with the next five picks that the Cowboys got, it could get interesting. A lot of it was like Aleem Neal, a lot of it was Marvin Wilson, Mooring. They might miss out on because he's a
Yeah,
top
yeah.
safety. Because you know what's going to happen in the second round. Once a safety goes, it's going to be two or three. Boom, boom, boom. So
But that's the thing, man. You got like 8 corners out there and you got safeties out there. So 44 is still a really good spot. Um,
and you're right, Kid Rascal. We could still sign Sheldon Williams. Sheldon Richardson is still out there. You could always throw him at the one tech. I mean, what the Cowboys plan to do. You know the motto, and Dwayne and myself hate the theory. Player acquisition is a 24/7, 24/7, 365-day thing.
now,
That's what Steven loves to say.
now, if you look at the best available player, and if you look at the time that the Cowboys went 12, if you look at most of the NFL analysts, Mel Kiper, McShay, Bucky Brooks, those type of guys, Daniel Jeremiah, the number one player on the draft board at 12 was Micah Parsons. And he went. Now, I don't believe Steven and Jerry when they said that they had him rated over the 2 corners. That's just and shout out to Clarence Hill, because Clarence Hill was like, "Yeah, I say that every year." So I'm glad that he did say that to them. But you don't have a scrub with Micah Parsons. And you know what else I like about the Micah Parsons pick? And I know this could be overrated, and kids say a lot of things on draft night. This kid truly wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy, man. He said it right after that Cotton Bowl against Memphis. He said he wants to end where he started. So he wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy. If you look at his outfit, it was like Dallas Cowboy colors. And I know a lot of kids get excited when they meet Goodell. This man literally knocked Goodell over. He jumped into his arms, man. So he's pumped up. The press conferences today. Um, hey man, let's go. It's a big day. Y'all know I love the draft. Like,
You know what, Kid Rasco? Saying what you just said, even so, Parse, he was important because I'm quite sure, Kid Rasco, like during Cowboy games, me and Dwayne talk on the phone during the whole game, and I'm gonna tell you, us getting threaded running the ball, getting ran on last year was one of the most disappointingest things. Oh, Kid Rasco, you said that Parsons is a hometown boy, so you live in Pennsylvania. That's a good thing. That's where I resided too. So we're gonna let the broadcast go because we both got to start our mornings. But
yeah, but listen, man, Cowboy fans. Drafts is built in the second and third round, man. And we've hit on a lot of second and third rounders. We got 4 picks tonight. It's a big day for the Dallas Cowboys. It starts at 6:00. I don't know what my man day gonna look like. I'm hoping we pop up at some point tonight. I love talking draft. I love talking Dallas Cowboys, and I hope we get it. Yeah, but Parsons is from yeah, he called him that, but he's from Harrisonburg. He's from
No, no,
Harrisonburg, PA.
he said just because he called Dallas home, yeah.
Yeah, he's from Harrisonburg. I like that Mike McCarthy talked about having another PA guy. And hey, it's here. I know we all got to go to work, but Q, thanks for letting me come on once again, giving me this platform to talk Dallas Cowboys. Rasco, man, tell your people in your community to check us out. Like, subscribe, and share. The more Cowboy fans we can get talking our favorite team, the better. Q,
The,
thank you
the
again, man.
more we'll talk about them.
Good. Thank you again for the
With that,
opportunity,
man,
brother.
no problem. With that, we're gonna wrap it up. Just a quick reaction. A quick reaction was a 28-minute show.
Yeah, this is
A
what we
quick
do.
reaction on Michael Parsons, man, and as we don't usually say is go Cowboys.
And I'll say this: we want your draft.